English A+ Academy. Welcome back everybody and thanks for joining us. Today we are working on asking and answering some questions in the past perfect tense. So if you have any problems answering speaking questions in the past perfect tense, this is the video you will ever need. Therefore, the video is useful to those who have learned past perfect tense and now want to practice more with some model questions and answers, or those students who need to practice more for their exams such as IELTS, TOFEL, PTE, and so on and so forth. We recommend pausing the Somehow podcast after each question and answering the question yourself and then listening to the model answer. Hope you all enjoy it. Do not forget to support us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Let's start. Past perfect tense. Had you finished studying English? Yes, I had finished studying English by 12 o'clock. Had you had your lunch by noon? No, I had had my lunch by 11:30. Had your father cleaned the house by 10 o'clock? Yes, he had done that. Had you finished all your homework before you started watching TV? Yes, I finished all my homework before I started watching TV. Had she worked here before 2013? I don't think so. I think she joined the company in 2015. Had Amy gotten home when I called? No, she hadn't gotten home when I called. Had Eric gone home when Sarah got to the party? Yes, he had gone home by that time. Had he finished before 5 o'clock? Yes, he had finished before 5 o'clock. Had it stopped snowing when you came in? Nope. It was still snowing when I came in. Had he established his own law firm before he got married? Yes, he got married the year after he had established his law firm. Why had you eaten all of the food before I came? I was really starving and that is why I had eaten all the food. What had he done for a living before he joined this company? He had played the piano before he joined this company. Hope you have enjoyed it till now. To support us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. What did you do before we had met? Before we had met, I had lunch. Had they met each other before the party? I don't know, but it seems like they had met each other before. Had she left when you got there? No, she was still there. Had it stopped raining when you went out? Yes, it had stopped. Why did you leave before we had finished? I left because I hate seeing your friends. Why had you studied if you didn't have a test? I had just wanted to learn something new. What had happened before I came? Bill and Angie started arguing because of money. Why had you left before I got there? You were 4 hours late. Hope you have enjoyed it till now. To support us, Please like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. What did you do before we had met? Before we had met, I had lunch. Had they met each other before the party? I don't know, but it seems like they had met each other before. Had she left when you got there? No, she was still there. Had it stopped raining when you went out? Yes, it had stopped. Why did you leave before we had finished? I left because I hate seeing your friends. Why had you studied if you didn't have a test? I had just wanted to learn something new. What had happened before I came? Bill and Angie started arguing because of money. Why had you left before I got there? You were 4 hours late. What do you wish you had done when you were young? I wish I had had more fun. Had anyone else entered the room before you went there? Yes, my friend also entered the room before I went there. What had you already done by the time you left home today? I had already done the laundry by the time I left home. What book had you already read before you saw the film version? I had already read Lords of the Rings. What had you already done before midday yesterday? I had played video games before midday yesterday. Great everybody! Like the video if you like the video right now. I am waiting for your likes and comments now. You have 5 seconds to do that. Let's do it together everybody. Okay. Thanks a billion. What languages had you learnt before you were 10 years old? I had learned English and French before I was 10 years old. Tell us about a friend you had made before you were 8 years old. I had made 2 nice friends before I was 8 years old. Their names were Adam and Tommy. Anna was crying. What had happened? I think she had broken the window. Tom was sitting in a cell at the local police station. What had happened? Maybe he had stolen something. She was crying with laughter. What had just happened? Actually, her brother had just arrived from military service. Why was your plane late? Because it had been delayed by bad weather. Why was the house a mess on Sunday morning? Because we'd had a party on Saturday night. She was crying with laughter. What had just happened? Actually, her brother had just arrived from military service. Why was your plane late? Because it had been delayed by bad weather. Why was the house a mess on Sunday morning? Because we'd had a party on Saturday night. Why wasn't Paul hungry at lunch? Because he had had a late breakfast. Had you gone to work by 8 in the morning? No, I had been at work by 9 o'clock. What had you done before you cooked lunch? I had called my mom before I cooked lunch. Had you talked to your friends? No, I had not talked to them. When had you finished visiting the museum? I had finished visiting the museum by noon. I found Anna laughing loud. What had happened? I think Anna had passed the exam. Had you gone there before we went together? No, I had not been there before we went with each other. Had she seen the film already? No, she had not seen the movie. Why had he forgotten about the meeting? He had been busy at work and that is why he forgot the meeting. Had it been cold all week? Yes, it had been cold all week. Kate's bedroom was full of paper. What had happened? She had been busy studying for her exam. He couldn't remember his name. What had happened? He had been sick hard and now he cannot remember his name. Why was Mandy tired this morning? Because she had stayed up until 3 a.m. Why didn't Andy go to his maths lesson? Because he hadn't done his homework. Why was Keith late for work yesterday? Because he hadn't heard his alarm. Had Tom arrived when you called yesterday? No, he had not arrived there when I called her. Had the thief escaped when the police arrived? No, he hadn't been able to escape when the police arrived. Did they leave before she had spoken to them? Yes, they left before she had spoken to them. Had you ever visited London when you moved there? No, I hadn't visited London. No, I hadn't visited London. Thanks for watching till now. If you like the video please. If you have any questions or suggestions you can write them down in the comment section. Feel free to write whatever you like. If you need a special video tell us please. We will make it for sure. Had your friend texted Tom 5 times before he answered? Yes, he had even texted Tom more than 5 times. Had his faith had any effect on the outcome of his life by the time he was an old man? Yes, for sure his faith had had a lot of good and bad effects on his life. Why was Millie crying this afternoon? Because she had split up with her boyfriend. Why did Gilbert hide in the toilet on the train? Because he hadn't bought a ticket. Had you seen the doctor before you went to work? Yes, I had seen the doctor before I went to work in the morning. When she arrived, had we eaten already? Yes, we had eaten already when she arrived. Where had you been when I called you? I had been in Spain when you called me. Had John met Lucy before they went on holiday together? No, he hadn't met Lucy by that time. Had you done your homework already? No, I hadn't done my homework. Where had she worked? She had worked at a bank. Had I paid the bill before we left? Yes, of course I had paid all the bills before we left. Had we visited my parents already that winter? Yes, I had visited my parents that winter. When you called, had they eaten dinner? No, they hadn't eaten dinner when I called. How had he managed to fix the cooker? He had fixed it by asking his friend. Had my sister been sick for a long time? Yes, unfortunately she had been sick for a long time. How long had humans been flying in planes when the first bomb was dropped from one? They had been flying for 8 years. How long had two-wheeled bicycles existed when pedals were added? They had existed for 41 years. Like the video if you like the video right now. How much had she studied before the exam? She had studied more than 2 days before the exam. What had you cooked for dinner that night? I had cooked spaghetti that night. When had they arrived? They had arrived by 8:30. How many cups of coffee had she drunk before the interview? She had drunk 3 cups of coffee before the interview. Directions: use the past perfect to finish these sentences. When Sally arrived at work. When Sally arrived at work, her boss had left his office. Before the teacher walked into the classroom. Before the teacher walked into the classroom, students had finished their homework. When Dad arrived home. When Dad arrived home, it had started to rain. By the time I bought that new computer. By the time I bought that new computer, I had finished reading some computer books. As soon as Juan arrived at the zoo. As soon as Juan arrived at the zoo, we had already seen all the animals in the zoo. By the time Kevin finished cleaning the house. By the time Kevin finished cleaning the house, her mom arrived home. When I bought a ring for my girlfriend. When I bought a ring for my girlfriend, she had got engaged with someone else. When it started to rain. When it started to rain, they had played soccer. Before Eugene graduated. Before Eugene graduated, she had passed all her exams really well. Bill bought a PlayStation. Bill bought a PlayStation after he had played with his friends. Now let's continue answering some other questions. How long had the Maoris been in New Zealand when the British arrived? They had been there for around 450 years. How long had Hitler been Chancellor of Germany when World War II started? He had been Chancellor for 6 years. How long had British Queen Elizabeth II been alive when Marilyn Monroe was born? She had been alive for about 5 weeks. How long had Charles Darwin had the idea of theory of evolution by natural selection when he published his ideas? He had had that idea for 20 years. He had had that idea for 20 years. English A+ Academy. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And turn on the notification bell. And like the video if you like the video. Finally, write down all your suggestions and comments about the video. Feel free to watch other videos in our channel.